like maybe the glare is a bit too much. I recently cut my fringe and it's a little bit short. You can see my whole room this way from this angle because I usually film here, so you can only see my wardrobe. Yeah, also I did my laundry, so all of my stuff. Hi, I hope you're well. This is my second time filming this clip right now because I had glasses on and they were just annoying me because they had a glare. It's been a hot minute since I've kind of done a little catch up, and I thought I would add it to the end of this video since I hadn't spoken at all. I've been taking clips from like the past 3 or 4 weeks since I've been back from my trip. The last video of when me and my boyfriend went to Berlin, and since then I hadn't posted, and there's been a couple of reasons why actually, but one of the main ones was I was just feeling so burnt out with all of my hobbies and I kind of gave up on all of them. The last 2 months have been so intense with traveling and seeing my family and also dealing with uni work, which has definitely stepped up. I've essentially just haven't really had anything interesting to film because I was just feeling burnt out. And with the shop thing as well, like I had a whole shop update like for Valentine's, which actually from April I'm gonna be doing another one, so I'm currently working out a plan for that now, and then probably getting to do it in April and May, and then in June I'm planning to go back to doing markets at the end of February after the trip. Also, sorry if like I'm talking very like there's no correlation to what I'm talking about because I had notes on my laptop, but then I was like kind of psyched out. I don't know, I was writing my notes on what I wanted to say bullet point by bullet point, and then I psyched myself out too much and I didn't film anything. Like I was supposed to film this clip days ago and I had nothing, so I was like, let me just sit down, let me just yap for a little bit and then see what I come up with without any notes. So if it sounds messy, that's probably why. So since the trip, when we got back, I essentially had a lot to catch up on with my uni. Even though I took a couple of clips, I thought, oh, like maybe I should do what I did at the end of last year when I essentially was just filming things whilst I was at uni and then compiling it all into one vlog. And that's what I kind of wanted to do with this term. Like as the weeks kind of got on, we weren't doing anything other than having seminars. With my graphic design course, like we had a couple of bits and bobs here and there, like we were doing a couple of workshops with a new technician just to kind of get to know her, and we were doing relief printing, and then we were doing also some letterpress, but we still haven't gotten to do any bookbinding or anything like that with her, so I haven't managed to film. I think my uni is also moving campus at this time. It's right in the middle of that process, so it just everything feels a bit messy. Most of the weeks we have just been doing research. This is the time where we're researching for our major project, so all I've been doing is just sitting at my desk, staring at my laptop essentially, and reading so much. I haven't been in the mood to sit down and edit because I'm doing so much research. I might have also mentioned this before, that like videos will probably, like the amount of videos that I post will go down because of that. Like I've been doing so much research that I don't want to be staring at my laptop if I have to edit. So that's been making me feel really burnt out. And I also got sick. I was sick again at the end of February for like a good week, I want to say. The actual illness didn't last that long, thankfully. It wasn't as bad as it was back in December, but what kind of shocked me and threw me off was that I got sick again to the point where I was bedbound for a couple of days. It was just so strange. That doesn't really happen to me this often. I don't know if it's something to do with my immune system, but maybe, I don't know. Winter has been kind of rough anyway. Like the weather has not been great. It's been fluctuating every day, so I'm blaming it on that. But also I probably do lack quite a lot of vitamin D. So I'm going home soon. I'm going back home for Easter to Italy to visit my parents again. So I think I'm gonna try and maybe find a good, I don't know, some sort of vitamin, something to take so that I can have a bit more vitamin D, because I think it's quite important. The illness kind of threw me off and I was just trying to recover from that really in like the first week of March.
and also doing uni. I just dropped all of my hobbies. I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to draw. I was also kind of in a reading slump. Like I hadn't been reading for the rest of February. I reached the goals that I wanted to. Like I read 2 books in February, which I'll get onto like my reading in a minute. Yeah, I just dropped all of them. I wasn't like planning anything. I wasn't watching anything. I wasn't doing any lace or crochet that I usually do. I wasn't doing any editing or just none of the above. So I've been trying to this month to get out of my slump and out of like my burnt out phase. I went to this clay workshop a couple of weeks back. I think it was on Women's Day. Yeah, so the gallery in my town hosted a clay workshop on Women's Day about like body positivity. And at first I was like, I signed up a few weeks before I actually got hit by my burnt out like phase, and then on the day I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go anymore. But then the fact that I'd already paid kind of motivated me, so I ended up going, and it was actually really good and it really helped me. I didn't film much of the process. I think I only showed the clips once I've already finished the piece of work that I did. I ended up doing this like curvy stature plant pot thing. I don't know, I've still been waiting for it to like completely dry because it takes quite a few weeks for the clay to dry, so I'm probably going to paint it at some point, maybe next month. I don't know. That workshop really helped me to get out of my head a little bit, because clay work is working with your hands a lot of the time. Because I also realized whilst the workshop was happening, a lot of the time when I do uni work or even work just drawing in general, sometimes at some points it starts to feel like I need to make this, and then how can I monetize it? How can I make it look good for a post? Or how can I make it look good for an item that I can then sell at markets or on my Etsy shop? So that is constantly at the back of my head when I'm making work such as like drawing, especially, or when I'm doing crochet things. I'm constantly in that mindset at the back of my head. It's like, okay, I'm making this because I like making this, but then I'm also making it because I am going to sell it. So that kind of stopped me. I guess that was also contributing to my burnout at the end of the day, and that workshop just kind of took me out of it, which was nice. The week after, I hosted my first like proper workshop, and it wasn't really, well, I basically proposed to my class at uni if they wanted me to host a workshop on cyanotypes. I thought it would be like a nice way to introduce it to others as well, because they hadn't really done it. I took it fairly seriously because I just wanted to see what it would be like. I'd never hosted a workshop before, so it was kind of like a new concept to me. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this sort of thing. It was really nice, and I just took it as like a tester. I made a whole PowerPoint presentation, and yeah, I had a few clips from that day that I took that you've probably seen previously. So it was really fun, and it made me realize how much I miss doing cyanotype work. It's definitely something that I'll continue, and I think I want to do more workshops, especially because I have the space, I have the classroom. Like, doing workshops is a hard job. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of like things you need to consider, and doing it in like out in the real world is definitely a lot more than just doing it for your classmates. I don't know if it's something that I would want to pursue. Teaching is definitely fun. I'd never really thought about that it would be. Teachers are always looked down upon as a profession, at least from like how I grew up. You always hear like people and teachers say like they don't get paid enough. I mean, this is why we have so many strikes in the UK, where teachers go on strikes because they don't get paid enough. They don't get fairly treated in the workspace and stuff like that. So I thought it's always kind of looked down upon, but I guess trying to do it myself, even on like such a small and probably irrelevant scale, it was kind of fun. And yeah, I might want to do it again, maybe during the summer semester. I definitely think this month of March particularly has been a little bit crazy in terms of just like things happening in the world, things going on like on social media as well. So I think I was being on my phone a little bit too much, and it also gave me more anxiety than usual. This might be too TMI to post, whatever, at this point. My period was pretty bad this month, and what I mean by bad, it was like more on like emotionally bad. So like my mood swings have been just like so frustrating, but I'm thankfully out of it now. So I have to say, At the end of last month, I had a reading slump. So this is something that I wanted to touch upon. I had a pretty bad reading slump. I reached my goals. I did read the books that I said I was going to read, but I didn't. Like, I have this jar that I made, I think back in January, to motivate me to read, and it did help, actually. Like, it did really help. I didn't film it, but I did pick out 2 books for March, and I finished the first one, and now I'm on to the second one, and I have them right here. So the book that I picked out for March was this one. I had this on my TBR for quite a while. It's My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. It's like a fake dating trope. It's a very cringy romance book. It was such an easy read. For the first 10 chapters, I had my doubts because it sounded really cringy, and I was like cringing quite a lot. But then after the 10th chapter, I kind of got into it more. I got into the characters, and I think I had a full review of this book on my Goodreads, so that's on there, so I won't really go into detail, but I think I put it as a 4 out of 5. I was gonna give it a 3 out of 5, but actually by the end of it I really did enjoy it. It's just a cringy, like this type of book really gets me back into reading because it's such an easy read, but also it's something that is like my guilty pleasure. Like, I just like a cringy romance book, you know. Sue me, I don't know. The second book was the Kings of Sin series, and I picked out book 4, which is the King of Sloth. I'm really enjoying this book, to be fair. It's already been about a week since I've been reading it, and I'm currently on chapter 35, so I have about 15 chapters left, I think, of this book. It's going pretty well. I think I'm reaching the point of the book where I start to have anxiety because something bad is about to happen and it's all gonna crumble. But I think obviously this is just like a standalone book, so I obviously know that there's gonna be a happy ending. I thought I could pick out a couple of books for April since I'll be home, and I think my plan is to bring most of the books that I have here in my room back to my house in Italy, and that way I can have a lot more choices when I go back home because most of my books are there. My roommate is a vampire, so this book is the third. This is the first actually standalone book from this series about like vampires. From actually it's the same author. It's the same author from this book. Let me just pick out another one. Love at First Fright. So they're both cringy romance books. Love that for me. Okay, so I have this one, which roommate is a vampire, and I think this follows an artist who is basically looking to move out of her current flat, and then she finds like this really cheap flat somewhere, and then her roommate obviously ends up being a vampire, and I think they get together by the end of the book. I think that's pretty much what it follows. Then we have Love at First Fright. I think it's about an author who can see ghosts, and she's making her book into a movie, and then she hires this like actor that I don't think they really get on, and then by the end of the book they get together. I think it's like a love to hate kind of trope. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of those, but or am I don't know. Anyway, those are the 2 books that I'll be reading in April, and sorry for blabbing for so long. It's already been 25 minutes. I'm gonna have to cut most of this out. I just wanted to give a bit of a catch up, to give a bit of context to what's been going on in the other clips, because this vlog is so messy. I was even considering like not posting any of it because I didn't have enough footage. But one last update before I go. This month I have managed to print out some of the photos from last year, from August and October, from when I went to Brighton, and some last couple of photos from Malaysia, I think. And then I also printed off the photos that I took in Berlin, so I'll add them at the end of this video as like a little slideshow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.